Hello, radiant Leo soul. Have you ever felt like the universe is quietly rearranging itself behind the scenes just for you? That something beautiful and unexpected is coming, but you can't quite name it yet? If so, you didn't land here by accident. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness, a sacred space where we don't just read horoscopes, we translate divine timing into personal power. This is not just another prediction video. This is a message written in the stars for you, Leo, to help you unlock what May 1st through 7th is truly trying to whisper into your life. There's beautiful, shocking good news forming on your horizon. And it's not loud. It won't announce itself with flashing signs. But it's real. It's personal. And it's closer than you think. In this video, we'll move through the most powerful energetic alignments of this week, blending astrology, tarot, numerology, color frequencies, cosmic timing, and grounded self-help. We'll explore the themes of emotional healing, quiet transformation, financial surprise, and reconnection with purpose. But first, I invite you to pause just for a breath. And ask yourself, what brought me here, right now? Was it a subtle nudge? A strange dream? An inner longing for something to shift? According to Buddhist wisdom, nothing arrives without a cause. And everything you meet is a reflection of your past intentions. So if you're here listening, it means something in your soul called this message in. That's powerful. And sacred. Let me take a moment to offer you my deepest gratitude for being here. Every like, every comment, every subscription, it doesn't just grow this channel. It deepens our shared vibration. It tells the universe, yes, I'm ready. And your support is what allows us to continue delivering these life-shifting messages, day after day. And Leo, believe me when I say, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of this reading, because what the universe is revealing this week is nothing short of spectacular. Whether you've been quietly hoping for a breakthrough in love, a resolution in your career, or even a sign that your path is still unfolding just as it should, this message carries exactly the kind of affirmation your heart has been craving. And I promise it will not only make sense. It will resonate with your soul like a key turning in a lock you didn't know was closed. So stay with me. Let's walk this path together, through the symbols, the cycles, and the signs, and discover why this beautiful shock of energy isn't here to disrupt you. It's here to activate you. Now, Leo, tell me in the comments. What has drawn you here today? What part of your story is ready to be rewritten? Let's begin. When life suddenly becomes quiet, almost eerily so, it can stir something in us that's both uncomfortable and oddly familiar. For those born under Leo's radiant fire, this silence may feel unnatural, even unsettling, like the dimming of a flame that usually burns so boldly. But quiet is not the absence of life. It is life rearranging itself in stillness. Just as a wave pulls back before it rises, this moment is not about losing momentum, it's about gathering sacred force. You're not being paused, Leo, being prepared. Right now, the cosmic energies are not asking you to push harder or perform louder. They're inviting you inward. The lunar transit through your opposite sign is simply a mirror, reflecting back the parts of you that have been stretched too thin, giving you the gift of emotional contrast. It's natural to feel pulled between wanting to act and needing to reflect. But the deeper wisdom here is this: you don't have to move to be progressing. Growth is often most profound when it's invisible. Roots don't make noise as they deepen into the earth, but without them, no tree stands tall. The Death card appearing in your reading only amplifies this truth, not as an omen of loss, but as a blessing of transformation. This card does not come to take from you, but to liberate you. It marks a turning point, one that does not require force, only surrender. In this light, death is not an ending. It's a passageway through which you shed a skin you no longer need so that your next chapter can breathe. This is not a time to fix or figure everything out. It's a time to sit with what is. There's quiet power in simply observing without reacting. Not every emotion needs an answer. Not every silence needs to be filled. Sometimes, the most courageous act is to be still with your discomfort and trust that clarity is unfolding underneath it. The impulse to move quickly, to resolve, to escape, is often the ego's way of avoiding depth. But the soul does not rush. It listens. So what if this pause is not a problem but a portal? What if, instead of resisting the slowdown, you could lean into it as a sacred teacher? Just as a garden lies dormant in winter, not because it's dead but because it's building unseen life beneath the surface, your own path is being rewritten not in noise, but in nuance. This is the season of subtle recalibration. You are being asked to come back into harmony with your body, your breath, your rhythms. True clarity rarely arrives in the middle of a frantic scroll, but it often whispers in the quiet moments during a slow walk, a single deep breath, a handwritten sentence in your journal. These are not small acts. These are real rituals. They reconnect you with the only place truth can live, the present. And when you give yourself permission to step back, to not know, to not do, you create space for something far more intelligent than anxiety to rise. You give space for wisdom, for vision, for rebirth. That's what this energy is calling for, not action without awareness, but presence without pressure. There is a silent kind of courage in not reacting. A quiet kind of strength in simply trusting that life still loves you, even when it goes quiet. So sit. Breathe. Let yourself feel the edges of this moment without rushing past it. Because the truth is, your next beginning isn't waiting for you at the end of a checklist, it's already blooming here, in this stillness, where your soul finally has enough room to speak. When doubt begins to creep in, it rarely does so with thunder. It's quieter than fear, subtler than resistance. It settles like a mist, soft, almost invisible, and yet, if left unattended, it blurs everything: your clarity, your confidence, your connection to what you once felt certain about. For Leo, whose spirit is born from fire, this mist of uncertainty can feel especially disorienting. You are not meant to live half-lit. You are not here to question your brilliance. And yet, we all have moments when we begin to wonder, am I enough? Is this path really for me? What if I'm not ready? These questions don't make you weak, they make you human. But it's important to understand that doubt, while natural, is not neutral. It speaks a message into your energy field. And when you entertain it long enough, it begins to replace your inner truth with external noise. This week's energetic pattern suggests that what's really ending isn't just a cycle in your life, it's a way of relating to your own worth. The World card doesn't simply signify completion. It marks integration. A return to wholeness. It's a cosmic reminder that the version of you who once questioned everything has served its purpose and can now step aside to allow a more grounded, more luminous self to emerge. The number 10, in this context, is not just the end. It's the full circle. A symbol of spiritual maturity, where you no longer chase validation from outside sources. And 0, the number of infinite possibility, speaks of the sacred blank canvas. Not emptiness, but potential. Together, they form a message: you are both complete and ever becoming. There is nothing lacking in you, and yet, so much is ready to bloom. This is why your doubts feel louder right before a breakthrough. The mind tightens when the heart is on the verge of opening. The ego panics when the soul begins to trust. In some teachings, it's said that the moment right before awakening is often the most confusing, the most difficult, not because something is wrong, but because something old is dissolving. You're not losing your way. You're losing your need to control it. So instead of trying to fix the doubt, try observing it. What does it sound like? Whose voice does it resemble? Is it truly yours, or something you inherited, something conditioned into you over time? Because once you see it clearly, you realize doubt is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to listen deeper to yourself, not the noise. You might be surprised at what happens when you don't argue with the doubt, but meet it with understanding. When you remind it gently, I hear you, but I'm moving forward anyway. That's not arrogance. That's devotion to your growth, to your joy, to your future. Wearing or carrying the color golden bronze this week is more than aesthetics, it's a tactile reminder of the confidence you're reclaiming. It represents the inner wealth that doesn't come from accolades, but from knowing your own value without needing proof. Every time you notice it on your skin or in your space, let it bring you back to that frequency, not of needing more, but of embodying enough. The truth is, worthiness is not something you earn. It's something you allow. You don't have to fight for the light, Leo, you are the light. You don't need to prove yourself to deserve what's coming. You only need to stop standing in your own way. And that begins not with doing more, but with letting go of the idea that you're not already ready. Because you are. Sometimes the past doesn't return to disrupt you, it returns to offer closure, clarity, or a gentle reminder of who you once were and how far you've come. When a familiar presence reappears, especially one that once touched your heart, it can stir an entire ocean of emotion. But not all returns are meant to rekindle something that was. Some are here to help you release what no longer needs to be held. It takes quiet wisdom to know the difference, and even greater courage to honor it. There's a kind of emotional maturity that arises when you stop asking, what if things had been different, and begin asking, what can I understand now that I couldn't see back then? The appearance of the Six of Cups alongside the Ten of Cups suggests that what's surfacing now is a blend of memory and meaning, a chance to revisit something once tender, and perhaps still unresolved, not to relive it, but to rewrite your relationship with it. It's about reconnecting with emotional truth, not just nostalgia. Memory is powerful. It doesn't always present itself as a thought. Sometimes it's a scent, a song, a sudden rush in the chest that feels like warmth and longing all at once. But not every wave that rises is meant to crash. Some are meant to lift you gently if you let them. So as you reflect on the people who once meant something to you, know this: love doesn't always come back in the way you expect. Sometimes, the gift is simply in recognizing that it existed. that you felt something real. And that's enough. There's also deep value in choosing how you respond now, with the wisdom you've gathered since. Maybe this return is quite a message, a memory, a dream. Or maybe it's more direct. Regardless of its form, your response is where your power lies. You don't owe the past a repeat of your former self. You owe yourself the honesty to ask, does this still honor who I'm becoming? In some teachings, it's said that the heart is like a mirror. When it's clean, it reflects truth clearly. When it's clouded, it reflects illusion. Emotional healing, then, is a practice of clearing that surface with compassion, not with force. And sometimes, writing a letter you never send is one of the purest ways to do that. You speak what the moment never allowed, not to change the other, but to free yourself from the weight of what was left unspoken. Looking into your own eyes and affirming your worth, I deserve a love that is kind and true, is not wishful thinking. It's a declaration. A recentering. Because the way you speak to yourself in private is the blueprint for the love you allow in public. You set the frequency. You choose what returns. And when you vibrate from a place of wholeness rather than emptiness, what finds you is far more aligned. This week invites you to soften, to feel fully, but also to discern. Not every reconnection needs to become a reunion. Sometimes, the most beautiful closure is a smile at a memory and the quiet exhale that says, I'm grateful, and I release you. And sometimes, just sometimes, what returns truly is ready to meet you where you are now, not where you used to be. Whatever unfolds, let it do so slowly. Let the heart decide with clarity, not urgency. Because real love, the kind that builds joy rather than chases it, moves in peace, not in panic. It shows up with presence, not pressure. And if it is meant for you now, it will not need to be forced into your life. It will fit. It will stay. It will feel like home. There's something quietly revolutionary about not chasing what you want, but allowing it to arrive. In the realm of career and finances, that idea can feel almost counterintuitive, especially in a world that glorifies the hustle, the push, the relentless pursuit of more. But what if the most potent opportunities aren't found through force, but revealed through alignment? What if success isn't something you hunt down, but something that grows naturally when you finally stop gripping so tightly? When the Ace of Pentacles appears, it signals the planting of a new seed, a beginning so tangible and grounded, you can almost feel it taking root under your feet. But like any seed, it needs the right environment to grow. If you're consumed with fear, constantly searching for quick wins or acting from scarcity, the soil becomes too harsh. Nothing can flourish there. This is why so many breakthroughs seem to happen when we least expect them, because it's not really about timing, it's about readiness. And readiness doesn't mean over-preparedness. It means receptivity. It means you've cleared the clutter of desperation and self-doubt long enough for something real to land. When you move from inspiration rather than anxiety, your energy shifts. You stop trying to make things happen and instead allow things to unfold in ways you couldn't have scripted. And that's exactly where this window of opportunity is trying to meet you. In the practice of mindful awareness, it's often said that the richest action springs from non-grasping. To take one intentional step, born from clarity, not fearless, to tap into a far more sustainable kind of momentum. So ask yourself gently, am I taking action from expansion or from contraction? One expands your field of possibility, the other shrinks it. That's where visualization becomes more than just a mental game. When you sit with the image of yourself not just having abundance, but living it with ease, peace, and purpose, you begin to rewire your nervous system to accept it. It becomes familiar. Not something out there, but something you are already in relationship with. The mind can't distinguish between vividly imagined success and lived success. This is not a trick, it's a tool. And it's especially powerful when done in a state of emotional calm, not frantic wanting. You're also being asked to look at your gifts with new eyes. Not from a place of pressure, but of possibility. What are 5 things you do effortlessly? 5 ways you naturally bring value? Write them down. Then explore 3 different ways each of those could support your finances, not through manipulation, but through service. You may be surprised how many doors open when you stop trying to fit into someone else's mold and instead sculpt your own path. The color jade green this week acts as a gentle frequency booster, a visual affirmation of growth, wealth, and regeneration. Wearing it, surrounding yourself with it, or even meditating with it near can help you stay attuned to what is rising within you, not what is being forced. Its vibration is slow, steady, confident, just like the kind of prosperity that lasts. In the end, this chapter is not about chasing coins. It's about recognizing your capacity to create a life of meaning, flow, and security without betraying your peace. When your actions are rooted in your true essence, money stops being something you chase and starts becoming a reflection of the value you offer effortlessly. So move gently, but move. Let your steps be clear, kind, and lit from within. What you're looking for may already be looking for you. There comes a time when the body doesn't ask for another push, it asks for permission to pause. And not the kind of pause that's disguised as scrolling or sleeping through exhaustion, but a real, honest reset. After all the effort, the striving, the overthinking that's marked your recent days, this moment is calling you back to something simpler, something more essential, care that doesn't come with conditions. The 4 of Swords, appearing now as your guide, doesn't warn, it invites. It points gently toward rest, not as a reward but as a requirement. It's a reminder that healing often begins not when we do more, but when we finally stop trying to outrun the tension we've been quietly carrying. Rest is not laziness. Stillness is not stagnation. They are both forms of wisdom, asking for a seat at your table. And if you listen closely enough, you'll hear your body whispering what it's truly needed all along: your presence, your breath, your compassion. Your body is not a machine, and it was never meant to be treated like one. It's a living, breathing expression of the same universal rhythm that guides the tides and stirs the wind. When you fight that rhythm, ignoring signs of fatigue, overriding your hunger cues, flooding your mind with stimulation, you begin to lose the natural synchronicity that keeps you whole. But the good news is, every moment offers a chance to begin again. Even one gentle sip of warm tea taken with full attention can bring you back into harmony. Even one deep breath can signal to your nervous system that it's safe to let go. Right now, the most radical thing you can do for your health isn't extreme. It's consistent kindness. That means listening when your body says it's had enough. That means choosing the foods that don't just satisfy hunger but support vitality. It means moving not to burn calories but to feel yourself, your feet on the ground, your breath in motion, your aliveness returning with each step. Walking in silence for 15 minutes without a phone is not an act of withdrawal, it's an act of reunion. Yoga practiced without mirrors or metrics becomes a sacred check-in, not a performance. Adding nutrients like omega-3s to support your nervous system or starting your day with ginger tea isn't just healthy behavior, it's an act of devotion to your own well-being. These are signals that say, I'm willing to care for myself not because I'm broken, but because I'm valuable. And the more you embody that belief, the more naturally your energy begins to attract the people, opportunities, and abundance that match that frequency. In the same way that a candle doesn't need to shout to be seen, your body doesn't need to break down to ask for attention. It will whisper, nudge, pulse, and stretch until you respond. Don't wait until it screams. Be the one who listens early. Be the one who remembers that tending to yourself is not selfish, it's sacred. When you meet your own needs with patience and respect, you create a foundation strong enough to hold not only your dreams, but your joy. And the ripple effect is real. A rested, nourished you is more grounded in every conversation, more magnetic in every space, more capable of clarity and creation. As the saying goes, if you want to move the world, first care for your own body. Let that care be gentle. Let it be daily. Let it begin now, not as another item on your list, but as a quiet return to balance. Because you are not just here to keep going. You are here to feel alive while you do. If you're still here with me, all the way to this final moment, I know something in your spirit has been gently awakened. You didn't find this video by accident. You were guided here because something inside you is ready to remember, to rise, to receive. Not from force. Not from proving yourself. But from the deep knowing that you were always enough. This week, the universe is not testing, it's offering you a gift. And the only thing you truly need to do is to open your heart wide enough to let it in. The breakthroughs you've been waiting for may not arrive in the way you imagined. They may come in a conversation, a quiet realization, or a decision to finally stop chasing and start listening. But one thing is certain, they are already in motion. So, before you go, I invite you to ask yourself a few questions, not for pressure, but for presence. What have I been holding on to that no longer supports the person I'm becoming? What brings me joy that I've been putting off for later? And what is one small, loving step I can take today, not toward perfection, but toward alignment? Let this be your gentle turning point. Let this be the moment you stop shrinking to fit where you no longer belong. You don't need to earn your light, Leo, you are the light. If this message resonates with you, comment with the fire emoji so I know you're ready to step into your new chapter. Let's fill the space below with energy, pure, bold, magnetic energy that says, I'm open. I'm listening. I'm aligned. And if this video found you at just the right time, if something deep inside whispered, this is what I needed today, then please take a moment to like, subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness, and share this message with someone who might need a spark of light on their path. You never know who's quietly waiting for a sign that it's okay to begin again. I'll meet you again in the next video, where new waves of clarity, healing, and cosmic movement are already waiting for us to arrive. But until then, I leave you with this. You don't have to rush toward abundance. You don't have to force your way into love. You don't have to prove your worth to earn peace. You simply have to return to yourself with softness, with honesty, and with trust. Because from May 1st to 7th, the most powerful thing you can do is stay open. The gifts are already on their way. Stay grounded. Stay luminous. And remember, this journey is yours to shape.